Now we're going to start dealing with more complicated situations. As a lot of you have reported, lots of times you see kind of the big, we gave a survey and we collected 10 variables and we're doing the data dump and we're seeing regression. Is that going to be simple linear regression? No. Guess what we call that? Multiple regression. In multiple regression, we have more than one predictor variable, but only one continuous dependent variable.
Say that one more time.
You have more than one predictor variable and one continuous dependent variable. If you were trying to predict snoring, for example, could there be other variables that might impact that?
Yes.
What kind of things?
Like a broken nose.
A
Previous trauma. Yes.
previous trauma,
The type of pillow that you sleep on.
type of pillow, type
A
of
cold.
spouse. Well, we won't go into Uh-oh, they all put, for the people who are listening to this, they all put frowns on their faces in the classroom. So there are potentially a lot of different predictor variables. You think about heart disease, an amount of plaque building up. You could talk about Alzheimer's disease and brain plaque or heart disease. And are there multiple predictor variables that could predict the amount of cholesterol in the bloodstream? Yes. So this is a multiple regression situation. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to take the data set that we have here with emotional exhaustion, personal accomplishment, depersonalization, and depression, and actually show what that looks like when we run multiple regression. We already ran the correlations with this, but to run regression, guess what we choose on the menu screen?
Regression.
Regression. Are there different types of regression?
Yes.
Yes. Do I know all these different types?
Probably.
Probably not. I'm a behavioral psychologist who knows a lot for a behavioral psychologist, but no, I don't know all these different types of regression, and most statisticians would, but health science people don't need to know all these things. Which kind would we choose here? Which kind do we know? Yeah, let's just kind of stick to the linear situation here. So linear regression. So we're going to go back to that emotional exhaustion situation. What would we try to predict here? What is the dependent variable here?
Depression.
Yeah, we're trying to predict depression. So I'm going to click it on depressed, put it independent.
And then the other three go in independent.
Yeah, but what was my gripe about that situation?
It's just not really independent.
They're not
You should
independent. What's
say
the better word?
negative.
Predictor variables. And would I want to put subjects in there? No, that's just a place setter. So I'll put emotional exhaustion in. I'll put personal accomplishment in. And I'll put depersonalization in. And I'm going to use the method called the enter method. In the enter method, you just put them all in and you see what you get.
That's just the data dump at that point.
That's kind of just the data dump situation. And I click it on OK. And this saves about 5 hours of work. And we put it in. And if you look at the screen, and I'm not sure if I printed this with your stuff or not.
I think so.
Is it on one of your pages here? No, I think I did the stepwise.
Nope. No.
No.
Nope. You didn't.
This is the enter method that I chose here. And if you look at this, it shows you on the top screen what? It was the enter method. What did I dump in?
Those three variables.
Those three variables. Let's look at the model summary. Is it good news here or adjusted R squared? What does that tell you?
62%?
So if you want to write for your notes, when you put in all three variables, you can account for 62% of the variance in depression. Does that seem pretty good? Yeah, it does. What does the next screen tell you? that the 62% is statistically significant. You'd write out an F of 3,38 if you wanted to. 23, P less than 0.001. Hey, this looks like great news. These three variables can account for depression.
But it doesn't give any weighting to which variables might account more or less.
So the problem we have with the enter method here, it doesn't really tell you which ones matter more or less. Now on the correlation situation, how did the correlations look? Which variable do you think might matter a little bit less?
The personal personal.
Was personal accomplishment correlated with depression?
No.
No. So it looks like it's kind of getting a free ride here, doesn't it?
Yes.
That doesn't seem fair.
Group project.
So, now we go back to analyze. Oh wait, we're regressing here, so we can do the Freudian version of analyze, which is, no, we won't say analyze. Oops, too late. Analyze, bad joke. Regression, sorry, I've been teaching this too long. The jokes are pretty standardized for me. Linear, but now what you would do is notice what method we had here. We had the enter method. I'm going to choose, there are different types of approaches you can use. You can use forward, backwards. In forward, you just kind of add things in. The approach I most often use is called stepwise. In a stepwise approach, it's going to only add variables in one at a time if they are significant. It's going to take the biggest one first, put that one in, and then it's going to add, if there's another one in, it'll put that one in, and so forth. So I like to choose stepwise. Now, other statisticians sometimes disagree with that approach. They like to use other methods. They feel like this is almost a fishing expedition as well, but I don't know. I feel like this is a useful approach to figure out which ones are really accounting for things. So if I click it on stepwise, and then I do OK, then we have the screen that I think I printed out for you. So in a stepwise approach, you basically see which variables account for the most, and if they're significant, actually let me stop the